Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
Hey, what's up everyone at LumioseStation? I'm AceStarThe3rd, and today I'm going to bring you guys an amazing Pokebank OU battle I had against someone by the name of Sherman Vermin on Pokemon Showdown. It was a very great battle, in my opinion, and I really do hope you guys enjoy it. So, the top team is my team, and the bottom team is his team. As you can see on my team, I have the annoying and infamous Skarmory's core that has been around since Generation 2, and has been equally as effective nowadays. It's very great. I have a sub-disabled Gengar, very fantastic, and I have an adaptability Groudon, which probably in 5th gen wouldn't have been all that because it was just slow and didn't have really much going for it besides the fact that it had Dragon Dance. But now in 6th gen it has the move Aqua Jet, which with adaptability and 120 base attack, it's kind of a problem now. And it also has an increase in power of the move Crab Hammer, which I do believe before it was 90 base power and now it's 100 base power, so this thing is just a threat for just no reason. I have a Mega Garchomp to set up Stealth Rocks, and it has Toxic on it too to stop things like Rotom. And I have a kind of specially defensive, kind of offensive Heatran with Lava Plume, Earth Power, Protect, and Toxic. So, on his team, I'm looking at it and I'm like, he seems to not have a Rapid Spinner, and I'm assuming that his Sizzler doesn't have the Fog on it because I'm pretty sure it has about 2 gajillion different things to do except set up the fogs and etc. So I'm assuming that the thing that is the Mega on his team is his Absol, because one, that's RU and no one uses it in OU unless they're using the Mega form, and plus it has the Max Bounce ability, which would help him a lot since he doesn't have anything that can really eliminate entry hazards and other things like that. And so the other things on this team don't really seem all that threatening because I have things to counter them. I have the Blisty for the Sylveon and the Rotom, then I have the Skarmory for the Mamoswine and the Sizzler and the Haxorus, so it's not a problem unless I get my everything wrecked by the Mega Absolute, because I don't really have much for that thing, especially if it has Fire Blast. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and I thank you guys so much for watching, and let's go. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and lead off with my Garchomp because I don't want to go through all that magic bounce crap with the Absol. So he just goes ahead and lead off with his Mamoswine, and he goes ahead and Ice Shards immediately, and I'm just like, okay, I figured that you're just going to set up the Stealth Rocks because I was figuring like, hey, who wants to stay in on the Mamoswine with a Garchomp, right? But then he just goes ahead and takes 87% from me, which is just not that good, but at least I got to set up my rocks. So he is going to go ahead and go into his Rotom. I'm not seeing any leftovers, so I'm assuming this thing is Choice, which is why I'm going to go into my Heatran. But then he just goes ahead and sets up a Reflect, and I'm just like, you know, that's great. that sucks. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stay in and go for another Toxic after I Toxic him the first time, because I figured that he was just gonna go ahead and Volt Switch himself out into something like Mamoswine, anything besides his Sizzler. So that's why I did that. He goes on to his Haxorus. Unfortunately, the thing happens to be Lumberied, so it's not gonna be effective at all because now he's just gonna not even get Toxic at all. He's gonna get his status removed immediately, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Mori Show because I did not want to get Earthquaked or set up a pond. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for a Whirlwind as he goes onto his Rotom, and then I roll him back out into his Haxorus, whereas I Whirlwind him again, and then he gets Whirlwinded out into the worst thing possible, which is just annoying. So I'm going to have to go out into my Heatran, which is kind of like, okay, I need to stop this thing right now. I was figuring he was just going to go for a superpower, so that's why I went for a Protect. And another reason why I went for Protect was because I figured that I wanted his Reflect to be gone so I could go into my Groudon potentially and just go ahead and Aqua Jet. But then he sets up another one, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. So then I go ahead and lose my Heatran. I go out into my Groudon, and then I go ahead and go for an Aqua Jet, and it lives with 3%, and then I lose my Groudon. I'm like, okay, that's great. So I was figuring that he was just gonna go for a Sucker Punch with his Absol, and I thought that my Rough Skin would have been able to take it out at that point, but then he goes ahead and Ice Beams me. So I'm like, okay, this is looking really bad right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into my Gengar. I was figuring that he was gonna think that I was gonna go for an attack on it, so that's why I went for a Substitute. And now at this point, because I'm safe behind the Substitute, I'm going to potentially just go ahead and destroy his life with the Shadow Ball, and I do in fact do that. So now he's gonna bring out his Sizzler, thinking like, oh, he's gonna switch out. I'm gonna revenge kill him because he's a. But I'm gonna go ahead and go for a Substitute because I figured that he was gonna go for a Pursuit or something, which he does in fact does. And then I'm gonna go ahead and then disable it with my Disable, which is just fantastic because now I'm gonna have a safe opportunity to be behind a Substitute. on whatever he brings in on his team, which always is a good thing. So he is going to bring in his Rotom, and it is losing health with the Stealth Rocks and the residual damage from Toxic, and I'm figuring at this point that I could take it out with a Shadow Ball, and I do in fact do that, which is very fantastic because he wasn't able to set up another Light Screen, which would have been just completely detrimental, because he probably would have been able to get the opportunity to go out into his Haxorus and then set up Dragon Dances, which has been stupidly unnecessary and really long. So he's going to go into a Sylveon. I'm like, okay, what is this thing going to do? It's going for a Wish, but it doesn't have anything like leftovers. And then I'm seeing, oh, Life Orb, so this thing is offensive too. Alright, that's cool. At least my Blissey can stop it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and disable his Shadow Ball because I didn't want him to go ahead and just keep on Shadow Balling me over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and set up a substitute because I figured like, hey, he was just going to switch out or something, and he didn't even do that yet. So I was like, okay. So now at this point I was thinking, hey, I can live a Moonblast because I'm resisted and everything, and I'm a Gengar. But then he goes ahead and goes for it, and it does 52%. And I'm like, oh. Okay, that's not even cool. And I'm also seeing that he doesn't have Hyper Voice Pixelate, which is also a good thing too, because that would have been annoying because he would have been able to hit me behind my substitute because now sound moves work like Infiltrator. So I'm going to go into my Blissey and I'm going to go for a Wish. I was thinking that, hey, this is a great time for me to do that, and I figured that it's safe completely for me to just go ahead and try to set up wishes and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Mori as I wish myself back up to full, which is fantastic, very fantastic, because now I'm still in my sturdy range, and that's always a good thing to have. I then go for a Drill Peck on his Scizor twice. I was thinking that, hey, I don't have anything else to do right now except, you know, I could Whirlwind, but that's not going to be as effective as Drill Pecking, because Drill Pecking I do believe will do more damage than just the Stealth Rock damage that most of these Pokemon will take. So I do predict his Shadow Ball correctly as I go into my Blissey. I go for Wish as he goes for his own Wish, and I was thinking that, hey, he's going to switch out into a Scizor. I can't let that happen, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for a Seismic Toss. I do predict that correctly, and then I take out his Scizor, leaving him with only 3 Pokemon left. If I do this the right way, I could win. So I'm going to go ahead and go for another Wish because I was thinking that he was going to do the exact same thing since he can't really do much else to me. So I'm going to go ahead and Wish myself and then go switch out into his Gengar, predicting his Haxorus switch in, and now I have full health, which is fantastic because now I can proceed to set up substitutes if I have to. So I'm going to go back out into my Smori Show because I was thinking that he's either going to go for a Dragon Claw or an Earthquake. Earthquake would have been effective because Haxorus is Haxoruses I do usually have Mold Breaker, and Mold Breaker will prevent my Levitate from working, which would have just been bad because it would have just Earthquaked me and I would have been like, ugh. So he's going to go into his Mamoswine. I was thinking like, hey, he was just going to go for something like an what's it called? Icicle Crash or something. So that's why I went for a Roost, but then he doesn't even do that much damage with the Stone Edge, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep on Drill Pecking it. I do get an unfortunate critical hit, which I don't know in the long run if it mattered. Presumably it didn't, because I could have just went for it again, and the crit mechanics are different now, so I don't know, like, it wasn't that game-changing. It was like, you got a crit, how could you? But still. He's going to go into a Sylveon. I'm going to go ahead and Drill Peck it, and it's very fantastic because he's going to go ahead and set up a Wish, and now I know that in this generation, since Protect doesn't work the same way, you can get Whirlwinded out with using Protect. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then he gets Whirlwinded out into his Haxorus, and I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. I can go ahead and do whatever I want to right now, because I know his Outrage isn't going to kill me. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a Roost. I'm thinking at this point, like, hey, if he brings in his Sylveon at this point, that I can go ahead and just potentially get rid of it, because after the Stealth Rock damage it will die, and because his Haxorus is too weak to take me out, he's going to go ahead and forfeit, and that is the game. So, like I said, that was a very amazing battle. I was about to lose. If that Absol would have went for Play Rough, I'm not sure that would have killed my Gengar. It probably would have, so it was probably advisable for him to do that, unless he was adamant, but still, I mean, I would have just Play Roughed, because I mean, hey, why not? So I do hope you guys enjoy that battle. I am AceStarThe3rd, and I appreciate you guys for watching everything. My channel isn't really X and Y at all. It's mostly 3rd gen, but I do like going on Showdown and playing 6th gen a lot so I can keep my mind checked and refreshed in the new generations, because I don't want to be an old man who doesn't know how to play. So I do encourage you guys to check out my channel. It is pretty cool if you do like 3rd gen in previous games and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and everything. This has been AceStarThe3rd. I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you later, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.